Hello everyone, it's Chris, and today's video should be a pretty short one. We're going to talk about two different things, completely unrelated. One is the Buffalo Bills, and yet we're not going to talk about football, and I'll explain in a minute. And the other thing we're going to talk about is just the process of checking the oil, not changing the oil, checking the oil on the Spyder, because it's frustrating to me, and maybe some of you with Spyders can give me some guidance. But first to the Buffalo Bills. So, and how can we talk about the Bills without talking about football? Well, one of my channel followers, he goes by the handle The Punisher 33, reached out to me and asked if I would kind of give an update on the construction of the new Bills Stadium. So this is Highmark Stadium where the Buffalo Bills play right now, and this is where they are going to play at some point. Now, I don't know exactly when. I'm going to lower my windscreen here. I don't know exactly when, because I'm not a football fan. That's what I mean when I say we're not going to talk about football, but rather just about the stadium. And then we're going to talk about checking the oil. So I don't know that I can get in closer than we're at right now, because I think the whole site is fenced in terms of the construction site. What I'm going to do is swivel around. There's a giant hole there. You can't see it. Can I get in here? Probably not. There's a security situation there. But you can see there's a lot of activity here. And today is a Saturday when I'm shooting this video, so there's no construction, which is good. But you can see the cranes, and it's a major development in Western New York, not without its controversy. I'm going to just make another run up the street here. Not without its controversy, because, as is the case with many of these stadium bills, there's public financing, right? And not all stadium bills, but many of them, the team owners come to the taxpayers and say, hey, we need this, and if you don't give us what we want, we might move, and it might become the Buffalo, I'm sorry, not the Buffalo, the, I don't know, Lincoln, Nebraska Bills or something like that. And then Western New York would be devastated not to have the team. So what do? We fork over, can I pull in here? Yeah, we fork over a ton of money, and the folks that own the Bills, the Pagulas, and I'm not picking on them. I don't have a stake in the game. I don't have a horse in the race, because I'm not a football fan. But so anyway, the Punisher 33 asked me if I would kind of just give you an update. You can see it is mid-June, and the new stadium is nowhere near completion, so there's no chance they're playing this year in this stadium. So my guess is that's a 2025 season stadium. But I'm going to try to stand up. No one's behind me, because I could see the hole in the ground where, like, they'd actually play from one of these angles. And no, I'm going to pull up a little further. Again, my eye line is 6 inches higher than yours because of the way the GoPro is positioned on my helmet. This is probably the one case where I really wish I had one of those on top of the helmet mounts as opposed to the chin mount. I love the chin mount. Okay, here, this vantage point right here. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a giant hole in the stadium that I can see right there. And of course now cars are coming. So anyway, enough about the stadium. So back there, when I said I didn't have skin in the game, I meant I'm not a Bills fan, I'm not a football fan, and I'm not passionate about a new stadium or the old stadium. Obviously, I have skin in the game as a taxpayer. I'm not going to turn this into a political channel and get into taxpayer funding of stadiums. I was just informing you that that's kind of the arguments that are out there, that, you know, we want to keep the Bills, we want to protect the taxpayers, that kind of thing. And that's all I meant by it. I just wanted to clarify that for you. So regarding the checking of the oil on the Spyder, so those of you who have a Spyder, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Those of you who are interested in a Spyder, and I know that's why a lot of you are watching the channel, this might be helpful to you. So the process for checking the oil on a Spyder, unlike most two-wheel motorcycles where you have the little window, the sight glass at the bottom, and someone explained to me on one of my other videos where I commented on I wish there was a sight glass, that has to do with wet sump versus dry sump, and that's way above my level of understanding, but some of you might get it. But unlike those types of motorcycles where you can just look in the window and if the oil level is between two lines, you're good to go, and that kind of thing, instead of that, you have a dipstick, almost like a car. And the dipstick, of course, is under the seat where the gas is, and that's another commentary that I made, maybe on that same video, that I wish that we didn't have to lift up the seat, really, for anything. But we do, and that's okay. And my seat shock, by the way, is still working. My dealer fixed it when I had my 3,000 mile checkup, and it had to do with a missing screw. Maybe a lot of you who have seat shock issues, I wonder if it's as simple as that. But anyway, back to checking the oil. The process for checking the oil is, first of all, the engine has to be hot when you check the oil, and that's obvious, I think. Whether it's a two-wheel motorcycle or a Can-Am Spyder, because if you check the oil when the engine's cold, then it's always going to seem like it's too low. You're going to put oil in there, and then when the engine heats up and the oil starts circulating in the system and whatnot, you're going to have a problem. So you got to check the engine oil when the engine is hot. I get it. But Can-Am in the owner's manual gives you a very specific process. So first of all, you ride the Spyder for a 9-mile ride, not an 8-mile ride, not a 10-mile ride, but a 9-mile ride. Now, I've been assuming, correct me if I'm wrong, there are Spyder experts that watch this, but I've been assuming that it doesn't have to be 9 miles. That's kind of a minimum to get the engine good and hot, because I've checked it when I've gone on much longer than the 9-mile rides. But my assumption is that 9 miles is a minimum. Correct me if I'm wrong. But so then what you do, and this is what really bothers me, and this is really the purpose of this comment on this video, 9 miles isn't good enough. Then what you have to do is let the thing idle for 10 minutes. Not 9 minutes, and not 11 minutes, but 10 minutes. Now that really bothers me, because most of the time when I check the oil, I do it in my driveway, and maybe I just need to break this habit. And the fans on the Spyder are very loud when they kick on. They don't kick on a lot, other than when the engine's good and hot and you don't have air. Like right now I'm on the highway, air's circulating through the engine, so the fans aren't needed right now, right? I have to let the engine idle for 10 minutes. Then I shut down, and then I've got 2 minutes to check it. Now I don't need the 2 minutes. It takes 30 seconds to check the oil. So the question I have for you, Spyder owners who are more expertise, have some expertise in some of this, is why? Why do I have to let it idle for 10 minutes? Could I ride it for a little longer than 10 miles, which I 9 miles, I'm sorry, which I normally do anyway, and then I don't have to let it idle for 10 minutes? What is the purpose of the idling? And for those of you who don't have a Spyder and who are like me, mechanically, you know, ignorant in a lot of things, beware that that's what you're getting into. The Spyder is an awesome vehicle on so many levels and for so many different reasons, and I've talked about them on a lot of videos, but there are some things about it that are a pain, and checking the oil is one. If you would like the video, if you do like it, I sure would appreciate it. If you don't subscribe to the channel, if you would subscribe, I would appreciate that as well. If you have thoughts on whether it's the public financing of stadiums or the Can-Am Spyder's oil checking process, please comment. Until the next video, you have a great day. Bye-bye.